Hello and welcome. I am Vishnu Shankar and you are watching News 9 Live Sports special episode of Indian Premier League media rights. IPL mega auction has turned up eye-popping numbers, unprecedented in the monetization of any sports property in India ever. The wise men who dabble in numbers have predicted that the total monies committed are to the tune of over 48,000 crore. And this makes IPL the second richest professional league in the world after the NFL of the USA. This was the first time the media rights were e-auctioned since the inaugural IPL season, which happened in 2008. IPL media rights for digital and TV in the Indian subcontinent for the cycle 2023-27 have been sold for rupees 107.5 crore per game. The overall per match value has a jaw-dropping figure of rupees 118.02 crore, only second to the most expensive sports property, NFL. There are altogether 4 packages. The winners for the most lucrative cricket media rights bid are Package A, Disney Star, rupees 57.5 crore per game. Package B, Viacom, rupees 50 crore per game. Package C, Viacom, rupees 33.24 crore per game, and Package D, Viacom and Times Internet at rupees 2.56 crore per game. The NFL's media rights are valued at rupees 132 crore per game. The second is IPL. At the third place is EPL at rupees 85 crore per match at present dollar conversion rate. Major League Basketball at rupees 75 crore, Bundesliga at rupees 30 crore, and NBA at rupees 16 crore complete the top 6 list. With me in the studio is my dear friend and News 9 Live sports editor Sandeep Misra. Welcome, Sandeep.
Thank you, sir.
And on the other side, remotely joining me are an eminent sports business reporter, Thomas Abraham, who is also co-founder of Sports Power, a sports business website. Also with me is somebody who knows IPL business inside out and was the CEO of Delhi Daredevil before it was named Delhi Capitals, Hemant Dua. Welcome to you. I also have with me a young man with vast experience in the business of sports media rights syndication, Gaurav Bharadwaj. Welcome, Gaurav. Let's set the ball rolling. Thomas Abraham, my first question is to you. 48,390 crore rupees, almost threefold rise in the value in a span of 5 years. Still well below the projected $7.7 billion, around 60,000 crore rupees. In your preview article for News 9, Thomas, you assess the right deal to close around 46,000 crore. How do you look at this post-auction scenario?
Yeah, well, my upper limit deck was around 47,000. So it's within range, first of all. And particularly on the television side, I had said the upper highest limit possible was around 6,000 if you're doing the breakup. It was per game 57 point something crores is what ultimately it went 57.5, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Which went to Star. But now Sony's upper limit was 57. So they dropped out after 57. And my maximum outer limit was 61 crores per game over the 410 matches if it was clubbed with the digital. As of now, I would say that Star has a good chance of recovering. It will be tough, but purely in terms of financial projections, it's not too bad a deal. On the digital side, I have to admit I was completely blown away, and I have done recalculations based on my logic of reasoning was purely that you're not going to get subscriptions. India as a market is quite bad in terms of ARPUs per subscriber. But I have done a recalibration on the fact that who are the players who have won it. So if you ask me, my personal opinion is that Star has or Disney has dodged a bullet by not getting it. But the fact that it has gone to Viacom18, which is essentially Reliance plus the brains trust of Uday and James Murdoch, not Paramount. Everybody is confusing the story with saying Paramount. But Paramount in this whole deal is actually a big player. So it's essentially these two entities which are behind this whole story. And there's a clear business logic to it. So I think I'm good. Ultimately, the answer, the flip side is, will the IPL deliver in terms of game quality, in terms of...
Yes, we'll come to that in a few minutes. Hemant, as somebody who knows IPL inside out, you are the CEO, former CEO of Delhi Daredevils. Being seeing what you have seen already, did you ever expect the business of commercial cricket to go this far within a decade since its inception?
No, I think it's been an amazing journey from their 8,000 crores, which was procured in the first. I'm not getting into the first WSG deal, but just looking at the Sony deal, which was at 8,000 crores, to where we are at 48,000 crores now consolidated. That's almost like 5.5x jump in a matter of 15 years. Not the best stock does that to you, or not the best business gives you that kind of return. So from that perspective, I think IPL has delivered, and people can say whatever they want to say about IPL. Whether there's a love and hate relationship with the product, but I think ultimately it has been delivering year on year, and I think it delivers because the fans love it, and and that's huge. Was it expected? No, nobody expected. If someone tells me in 2008, someone thought that in 15 years or 10, 15 years will be worth $6.5 billion, I would have, disagreed with that person, because nobody would have believed that journey. But yes, I think the architects of IPL had a vision, and they've stuck to that vision. And I think the paramount is the fan, right? Till the fans are coming in, watching the sport, till the fans are going into the stadium and the stadiums are full, you have a product that's delivering. It's like saying, people keep buying products in the market, the stock keeps going up. It's as similar as that. So if the fans keep coming to the stadium and keep gluing into the television, it'll keep going higher and higher. There's no...
Okay.
Yeah.
Sandeep, cricket is now only behind NFL in terms of media value and ahead of EPL. NFL is about 140 years old.
True.
And EPL is 40 years old. And we are talking about IPL, which is only 14 years old. Does this make cricket the fastest growing commercial sport?
Yeah, it does. I mean, if you really look at the way the money is coming, look at the way the sport has evolved, look at the way T20 is coming, you have to understand and view this as a global sport now. But the main point I'll just take it off from where Hemant was saying, whether he was shocked or not. I mean, I was literally shocked. But at the same time, I have to say that probably a year back or 2 years back, when Athletic did that deal with New York Times, which was 650 million for something which we both have differences on, which is long form.
Yes.
They did that sports thing. And that was the point where you actually thought that these deals are looking at the future. These deals are looking at digital. And that's where,
that's right.
The IPL has come in at the right time. I mean, we were just discussing, we didn't do the long distance on this, like the NFL did, or the EPL did, or the NBA did, or the MLB did. We've done the sprint on this. We've just gone in for the 100 meters, and we are really at the starting point where I think this is going to grow to probably more. Okay. I think the main thing is, how do we evolve IPL as a big time sport now?
Yeah, that is the challenge.
That is the biggest challenge. The money is no more the challenge. The fans are no more the challenge. Yes, to evolve the sport, make it so much better so that more and more fans can come in, and at the same time, it becomes a worldwide sport. That is the main challenge now.
Right. Gaurav Bharadwaj, next question to you. Did you ever expect the gap between digital and television rights value to be bridged so fast?
To be honest, I was not expecting that gap, right? So, just on the onset, this star Disney has gone is on a very sweet spot at the moment. They are already making somewhere around 4,000 to 4,200 crore per year, and with the acquisition of 23,575 for next 5 years, they are already sitting on a very sweet spot, as I mentioned, right? But as far as the digital rights are concerned, they have almost paid some 90% growth from the last cycle, and it will be interesting to see how Geo or Viacom will leverage their position, because they are already into the content side of it, entertainment, news, and again they have a backing of the huge Geo telecom platform. So, and again within next 1 or 2 years, the 5G will all again come into the place, right? Then definitely it will be interesting to see how, according to me, that Geo will leverage their position into this. But the gap is huge. TV broadcast probably numbers are going down, but the digital again has a massive into this complete prospect. They have huge. The BCCI has got huge growth for the digital rights.
Right. Thomas, Viacom was very aggressive in bidding for digital rights. Available data with us tells us that the digital has only contributed 33% to IPL broadcast revenues. How do you think Viacom is now going to play its game?
Yeah, well, see, there's one thing that people have to understand, and I also had to understand it. So it's not as if I came to the table with clarity on that. But conversations I've had essentially, like, I always felt that if at all there's a play here, it would only be somebody who's backed by a telco. So for me, it was always that the digital play, if you want to talk the numbers that you're talking, it has to be either an Airtel or a Reliance. Airtel from the get-go said they're not participating. So it was essentially a game where will Reliance play or not play? And they played very aggressively. And I believe that they have the wherewithal in tandem with the Viacom18, as I said, what I call the brains trust of Uday and James, who understand television and who have leveraged. I mean, if you want to understand how Star took the value of when they took the rights in 2017 for those 5 years, how they telescoped the value in terms of revenue generation from over the last 5 years is ultimately actually a TV story, not digital. Now the next 5 years is going to be a digital story.
Right.
And that capacity to leverage that is only residing within the what I call the synergistic alliance between the Viacom18 television business and the Reliance Jio telco powerhouse.
Okay.
So,
Hemant, the rise in the value has happened when IPL ratings are low at this moment. Did the BCCI err in not going for the bids before the IPL? Or let's just put a little bit of future gazing in this. Would the scenario would have been any different if the auctions had happened when the ratings were high?
Not really. I mean, like, I don't think the ratings made such a huge dent. I mean, like, people know, you're looking at ratings now, but relatively, if you were to look ratings pre-COVID to what they are now, I don't see there's been a huge dent. The ratings had really jumped in, or the impressions, as I call it, more from a digital point of view, jumped in because people were locked in, and there was only one sport that was visible on television, and which was IPL. So they had no choice but to view it, and then that kind of took the ratings up massively. So I don't think ratings would have made a difference. But I also feel, I think, people are, the digital numbers are jaw-dropping, but they're also realistic, because if you see the way the growth happened on the digital side, specifically for Hotstar, from where it was to what it is now, they control 50% of the OTT literally market, to being a nobody in the market. So that just proves that IPL helped them. And if you look at the data, they gained a lot of customers during IPL time. So I'm assuming as my friend was saying earlier, Jio, with its bandwidth of a telco and its experience, and with the ex-Star team joining them as investors now there, I think it's a potent combination, and you will see great products being rolled out on the digital side. And also, at the end of the day, with two players now, one on television, one on OTT, it's going to benefit the viewers because there's going to be competition as to who's going to provide a better product. And whoever provides the better product, the viewers are going to latch on.
Right. Now the question that is on everybody's mind. Thomas, are these numbers sustainable for the stakeholders?
As I said, and I'm repeating myself, the fact that television is with Disney Star, they have the capacity because they are the ones who showed it in the last 5 years of taking the revenues. I mean, they telescoped it massively. If you look at the numbers that they delivered, I mean, forget the ratings. As talking about the numbers that were delivered this year on the television side, they were awesome. So, if anyone can leverage the television this to the maximum extent possible, and who have had what I call the track record of already having done it over the last 5 years, it would be Disney. And I think that on the digital side, I think one is that it's not just a subscription game. I mean, if you look at a telco like Reliance, for instance, and it puts a 10 rupee price, just a 10 rupee price for, say, it's 200 million subscribers to get IPL.
Mm-hmm.
You can do the math. So it works for a telco because of the sheer scale of its subscription base. And India is a very price conscious market. So without having to massively increase prices, Reliance Jio would be able to leverage massive amounts of revenue purely on the subscription. Then there's the other part of it, which is advertising based video on demand, AVOD. I mean, if you're going to increase massively your subscription base, then you can pump in massive advertising. And then if you're talking 200 million numbers as your advertising base, then the sky is the limit on what you can charge in terms of advertising.
Yeah.
On both sides, because it's a Reliance and a television marriage, it works on the digital side. I would seriously have my doubts if Star would have been able to leverage if purely as a broadcaster. It would have been tough. But in this case, it's definitely and profitable. I don't think it's going to be a loss leader or anything like that.
Okay. Gaurav Bharadwaj, how do you see what happened yesterday affecting the IPL broadcast sponsorships?
Definitely broadcast sponsors will go, at the moment Star is selling this year was 14 lakh and it will easily, they will ask for the next year some 20 to 20 lakh per 10-second slot. So because the way the property is turning up, and when the Stoney was selling in around 7-8 lakh per spot as far as the broadcast sponsorship are concerned. So, and this time the rate was for 10-second slot for IPL on TV was 14 lakh. So Star can easily make this money out of it. As I mentioned earlier, they are already sitting on some 4,200 crore per season. So they can make this. But definitely broadcast, all advertiser has to spend a lot to come on IPL or take their brand on IPL. So that will be the big case. So if in fact the amount of revenues Star will get, so that will be huge. But again, on the same side, on the broadcast point of view, advertiser has to sell the more monies here. So because definitely at the end of the day, whatever will be the acquisition price, so Star has to make monies out of it.
Right. Thank you. Hemant, the next question is to you. This is certainly a windfall for franchises. Just the central pool revenues will make owning IPL teams profitable now. There are nearly an average of 10,000 crore per annum from media rights. It will be more than 10,000 crore if we add the value of title and associate sponsorships. Can you please explain to our viewers how the central pool business works?
Yeah, Vishnu. So it's a simple maths. It's all the revenue that's accrued from media rights. Let's assume it's 48,000 crores now, and let's say from a sponsorship pool they're able to generate another 8,000 crores. So that becomes 56,000 crores. So 56,000 crores is divided 50-50, and 50% is divided equally amongst the 10 teams now. It used to be 8 teams, out of which 5% is a variable and 45% goes back to the teams. So 5% variable is based on the ladder, on how you kind of rank up on the ladder at the end of the season, basically. So on an average, each team will get around 450 odd crores. On a simple maths, can go up to 480, 490 crores also. But if you look at that, that's a pretty sizable amount of money that's coming in. Except the 2 teams that came in now, because they are paying a flat fee, which is they have to pay over the next 10 years. I think all the 8 teams are laughing away to the bank with the kind of money they have, and it gives them a lot of leverage to do whatever they want to do and develop and look at other sports or create their franchises in other sports, build grassroots. I mean, they can do whatever they want. They'll be profitable to the tune of at least 200, 250 crores year on year each team.
Well, being a IPL CEO is going to be a big, a lot of fun now, I think. Thomas,
it's the hard work of 10 years when they were losing money.
Yes,
time nobody was talking about it, and everybody used to talk bad things about IPL, but everyone stuck to it, and they lost.
It augurs well for the franchises, for sure.
And it augurs well, and as they say in the stock market, again, I keep saying, you invest for long, it reaps benefits. And that's what it is. It's compounding wealth for them now. That's what it is.
Thomas Abraham, BCCI has often been accused of economic muscle flexing in world cricket. Now, with this kind of figure, what do you think they are going to do?
We already know that IPL has got a 2.5 week window. 2.5 month window. So that is there. And everybody and their uncle is going to do a T20. So you have the South African T20, the UAE T20, the Caribbean T20, British 100. Ultimately, I think what's going to be under serious threat is bilateral cricket. And when bilateral cricket goes under threat, the quality of
that is a significant point.
At the end of the day, that is going to be a challenge that nobody is addressing. The quality of the cricketers available in the market, is it because cricket is going down as a sport in the West Indies, or what I call the old countries in which they were formerly good. Sri Lanka is a mess. So I think in terms of the pure quality of players is something that people will have to, if you are purely a cricket traditionalist, which I am not a person who came to cricket from a natural love for the game, but purely cricket traditionalists, you talk to any of them, they'll say the quality of cricket has gone down in terms of per individual basis. So that will that sustain? Will that the new talent? Will the game itself? That's a game for cricket. People who know the game of cricket better than I do. So somebody can offer this, but it is a challenge for sure. If you see this IPL, I would say that it is teams like Lucknow or Gujarat who are fortunate not to have the big guns of cricket captaining them. And just like was the case when Dhoni won the 2007 World Cup.
That's right.
The quality, the kind of cricket that say a Virat or a Rohit Sharma or a Dhoni is there. Will that carry forward? What is going to carry who are the new stars that are going to come and put bums on seats in stadium? That we don't actually have any big names now.
Yeah.
In this IPL, for instance, I challenge anybody to, off top of the hat, be able to identify players. They're just a handful.
That is true.
I think that's an issue, but people who understand and love cricket are better placed to answer that.
Sandeep, It is the first time that the major IPL rights are being split among different entities. For the first 15 years, it was either Sony or Sports. They should make the broadcast business more competitive.
It will be. It's going to be severely competitive. I mean, you will see a huge amount going to digital. Digital is going to be more competitive because that is the future. I mean, but it's going to be easy. Number one, you got to understand there is no other sport that's going to be competing with cricket. You don't have a football team that's going to the World Cup. You don't have anything. You got a track and field guy, Neeraj Chopra, who competed yesterday, and people probably watched him. But that's not even a drop in the ocean out here that we are talking about. So the competition between TV and digital is going to be won by digital. There is nothing that you can argue about that. TV is going to be second. The big point here is that how severe or how less severe can the revenues be on the TV side and so much more on the digital side. I think that's where the numbers are going to come into play. And that we will see in the next 3 to 4 years. I think even in 2 years, we'll get a fair idea of where we are progressing to. Because at this moment of time, cricket as a sport stands alone. So it can rake in as much as it can before any other sport even comes up. I don't see that happening in the next 5 years.
True. Final question to you again, Sandeep. IPL teams, IPL broadcast, ISL, is Reliance gradually going to dominate the country's sporting ecosystem?
You want one word? Completely. You look at the academies. You look at the way basketball is going. You look at the way football is going. You look at Mumbai Indians. You look at the way they have spread around and all for digital. I think that is where they will in the next 5 to 6 years completely take over the system. But I'm saying this in a very positive light. And the reason I'm saying this is that setting up academies. You go to Bhubaneswar, you have the best athletic high performance academy now out there. You got two, the 200 and the 100 guy, and you have the 100 hurdlers who are already breaking 6 to 7 national records. I think that is the way Reliance is going to pump in money. And at the end of the day, they also want to be top of the pops on digital. I think that's where they will dominate.
Okay. Hemant, my last question is actually to you. In theory of relativity, what will be the impact on other leagues like ISL, Kabaddi, now wrestling, and even a Kho league that is in the works at the moment?
It's again, I start by saying it's all about viewership, what the viewers give love. If you find viewers logging in and logging in, you will get the money. But right now it doesn't look like. PKL, the governance is an issue. It's owned by Star TV. 905 crores for the next 5 years. That sets you the difference between 48,000 crores and 905 crores. Football, loss-making entity again, but growing step by step. In the next 5 to 10 years, not even close. I wouldn't say anything is, all of them cumulatively are not even going to be 20% of what IPL is. That's a long way gone. But there is a bright, there's always a blue sky out there. And I think the trend is changing globally. MSL, Major Soccer League in US, which is a low entity on the sporting radar in the US. It comes at 5 or 6 number, literally, compared to NFL, MLB, basketball, NBA, etc., and all those things. It just secured a major deal of $2.5 billion with Apple TV as a digital for the next 10 years. It happened day before yesterday. So that sets the stage, and I hope other channels will start looking at it. And as editor was saying, Sandeep was saying, I think Reliance wants to own this space, and they've started investing in more leagues, actually buying a lot of digital rights for the boot section. And now with this happening, I think they will armor themselves more with some more rights. So that bodes well for a few leagues. Will it generate a lot of windfall for them? No, but whatever money comes into the other leagues is a windfall for them. That's what I would say.
Thank you, Hemant. With this, we come to the end of this broadcast. Thank you, Sandeep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. And thank you, Gaurav, for being with us. To our viewers, thank you for joining us in this broadcast. We'll bring you more of these in the coming days. Thank you for being with us. Bye for now.